Today in our /Nuclear Revenge. You pay for it, one way or another. Greetings. Normally this was not even a subreddit I followed, but a certain YouTuber entertained me a lot by reading a few select posts from this one. Our story is from years ago. I used to work for some kind of full-stack agency as a coder, doing websites, desktop applications, and integrations for customers. Life was good, and it even got better. After managing to provide an important customer with 5-star hotels all around my country with a great website with integration to their ERP and also mobile solutions, which didn't exist then in my country, a headhunter had found me. He offered nearly triple the salary I was getting, and it was impossible to say no to that. I informed my employer, gave him a generous notice of a month so I could wrap up the last projects. Let me warn you that I was a very young and incredibly trusting person then. When my employer told me there was some problems and I'd have to receive my last salary with the next one, I accepted. Last day of my job, when he asked me to sign the paper that declares I had nothing indebted to me by that company, I signed it. I was a moron. I was young. They never paid, of course. Even though being stiff that way was a lump in my throat, I tried to gulp it down. I worked hard at my new job, trying to prove that I could do better than I did before. But another sneak attack from my ex-employers was the last drop. One day I arrived at the job. My new employer called me to his room. He explained that my ex-employer reached to him and told him that I was lazy, a liar, worthless, and it wasn't worth the effort to have me as an employee because they were about to sue me, so I wouldn't be able to do any work with all the legal stuff. I was beet red. I apologized for being a nuisance, and I said I'd clear my desk instantly. He laughed cheerfully and said, "You've been working for me for 2 weeks. You completed 2 high-quality websites and half of a desktop app. I'll cut my own throat before I fire you." Still, I was so shaken that he had to give permission to me to leave early. It was Friday anyway. I went home and cried, not because of sorrow, but rage. I couldn't touch them. I just couldn't. I couldn't. That's the day I fired up Google and typed "how to hack" for the first time in my life. The first response was a forum in my native language. I started reading, and gosh, I had a lot to read. Coding and hacking are, even though they share the same expertise, vary so much when it comes to details. I confess it was then impossible for me to think like them, but thankfully the forum crawled with helpful technical tutorials telling me hows and whys of every exploit I could use. As I said, I was young and a moron. Back then I had my own mini-admin framework that I used in every website I made, and I just realized there was a crucial mistake I made in calls to create new records. User pages, news, items, galleries, everything. I wasn't checking the authorization at all. It would nearing impossible for a hacker to use this because he would know or get exposed to the exact call, but I knew it. It was about 6 a.m. when I finished reading. I used public transportation to go to the other end of the city. I found an internet cafe where the young attendant care about IDs and which didn't have any security cameras. I sat in a corner and started breaking every single website I made for them. There was one about pastry materials, a website consisting of over 1,000 ingredients. In the main page, a random assortment from each ingredient type would be shown as a gallery. I replaced about 20 of them with images of, human waste. Only 20, so a viewer who got used to it wouldn't realize the error until some time has passed. I made the chief physician of a hospital page the angel of death itself, with images and a special bio. People don't look into physician bio pages, so I was sure it wouldn't be found out for long. I made an announcement in ultra-nationalist party as website that their number one enemy would be giving a speech. In a local newspaper page, I made all videos instead linked to the famous Loituma video where an Annan girl spins a leek in her hand. Slowly, a few websites a day, I broke every single website I made for them, approximately 60 websites or so. The backlash from customers seems to have been furious in a domino effect. He lost his customers' trust and his references, which simply means everything for this kind of job. Once the proud owner of one of the best agents in the region now tries to work in a tiny office, making a living doing third-rate websites with his meager skill. Even though I never met him during this period, one of my friends was working under him until the last moment. I loved listening to his struggle to find out how I did it. They knew I did it. They just had no way of proving it, while losing more and more customers every day from my friend. I don't know if this suits the phrase nuclear, but at least the cold satisfaction I get whenever I walk past his tiny office these days may be considered nuclear. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash the bell, and whatever else our YouTube overlords require nowadays.